Hello, I'm coloring my dragon. We will be posting this. I outlined him in crayon and then I'm watercoloring him with my Posh watercolor set that I got at Giant Eagle or Kroger or somewhere, equally, whatever. And I know that you guys were kind of enamored with the dragon that was blue, so I've put some blue in my dragon here. See how it rides up on the crayon? Crayon can work as a fence. This is called crayon resist because the crayon will resist the color and come through. And I might put some, I like the mixing of the green and the blue, so, and you don't have to blend them in together at all. So, there. I think I'll make his eye red too. Okay, oops. If it goes where you don't want it to go, you can always take a Kleenex and tap it, and that'll keep it from spreading so much. Now, if you use a lot of ink or a lot of paint, it might bleed the thing, so just keep that in mind. Okay, I am now going to draw a background, and I talked about backgrounds. So we're going to give him a road to be on, but we're not going to take it to a vanishing point quite like we did before. We're going to put a house here. And we're going to put some flames coming out of his mouth. Maybe we're going to have a house back here, just on the edge of the road. I don't think they had sidewalks back when they had straw houses. And this is a straw roof, or a thatched roof as it's technically called. And they often had what's called a Dutch door, which means that only the top half would be open during the day, so weird little animals wouldn't be coming in. And they would never have many windows because, and we're gonna have smoke coming out of there. And they can be jiggly jaggly. You don't have to use your ruler if you don't want to, because they would have openings in the roof here, and they'd have an open fire on the floor, and you can imagine how dangerous that was. So I'm going to put another building here. And luckily for you, they probably didn't have very straight walls, so you don't have to worry about your ruler. There'd be a handle like this down here that the neighborhood carpenter would make. And then this top part of the door opened, and we're going to have some lady here screaming, just like in the etching. Oh my goodness, she's going, ah, help. Help, 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 help. And here. And then let's put a window, part of a window up here. And thatched roof. And these thatched roofs were yellow and brown. There used to be a thatched roof here in Ohio that I would see on my way to Van Wert when I was a kid. I don't know if it's still there. And oftentimes, glass was prohibitively expensive, so people would just have shutters on their windows. And if they did have glass, and this person must be very wealthy, they have glass on their window, they would have, it would be made out of little bits of bottle, so that when you were done with your bottle of wine or your beer or whatever, you'd cut out that and make these little circles of color and put them in to the windows. They're very interesting, and they still do that in England and probably in Ireland. Then you'd have a little thing in here, latch, so you could close that. Maybe this window's open. Okay, and then we can put some mountains in the background. And let's have a tree here. And scribble, 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 scribble. There's your tree, and it's on fire. Okay, and the road here is probably dirt. And let's put in a tree because we know how to make a tree. Remember, it's a series of Y shapes. And let's have it overlap here. When you color, you can overlap it. Okay. And when you do, let's have bits of flames down here on the ground. And this tree is on fire. And this part can be quite fun. So first of all, let's color our sky blue. You don't need much color for that. It can be a light blue. If you want it lighter, you just add more water. And then you're going to color over it with your green. Don't worry about it taking a little bit extra there. Okay, so there's your sky. Now let's get our flames in here. We still have some green in that from when we made the dinosaur. If you need watercolors, I'll try to put some in there in the office for you. So there's some flames. There's a flame there on that house. We go ahead and put our yellow roof in, and then we can put some brown on top of that. And the house itself would just be sort of brownish. And you can put a piece of wood across here. In England, these pieces of wood are never straight. They were hand hewn. That means that they took a saw and they cut a tree down, and they pretty much made the whole tree, the building that they made, out of trees. So those shapes are kind of rough. And they're still living in those houses too, and they were built, 1200s. They might have, they'd have running water in them, and dishwashers and all that, but they updated them and they didn't leave them like they were in the 1200s. But still, that's fascinating that they have houses that old. So we're putting an X there on that one. And we're going to go around this one and put some wood there. And I'll show you with the brown where the wood is. Now, as far as the house itself, you want to make it gray, that's fine, because they're usually made out of any kind of material they originally could find. They called it wattle and daub, and that was often mud mixed with horse or animal dung.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, well, it doesn't smell like anything after 1,200 years, and they hold together.
What they use it for?
To build their houses.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Who was the guy that's like, let's use poop to...
Well, they needed something that was malleable. Okay, so let me put this behind her so she stands out. Okay, how are we doing for time? Director?
You're at 13 minutes.
Okay, we got time. Put some red. How was that Quizlet?
I mean, you got flashcards and you have quizzes. Everything else you have to pay for.
Oh, one of the teachers used it for vocabulary. And I thought that might be a good use for it. Well, we can't have the background be that shade of green. So we're going to put a lot of yellow in it. Make it yellow-green so we don't lose our dinosaur. Maybe we'll put a little brown in it too. After all, it could be a field of stuff. You're going to use a lot of brown and green on this one. Here's our pine tree that's on fire, and what you can do is just let it bleed. We'll let that dry, and then we'll put the fire on. And that works. Put a lot of yellow here. And one other thing you can do, which is sort of fun, is make little nicks here for the grass. And it just makes it work better. If you got more than one shade of green, like my super duper box. I didn't even know these existed. And then some little kid asked for it for Christmas, and I went off to find out about it. It's not cheap, but they had them at Target. And look how many colors are in this thing. It's rather interesting. I didn't even know such a thing existed. Learn something every day.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you can add to your brown and black together because a lot of this would turn sort of a dirty color, especially after it was exposed to the elements. Have you ever seen pictures of these Elizabethan houses?
No.
Oh. And if you want to make sod huts like they had out west, you know they made homes out of dirt in the prairies, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cow poops step up. First you had a cow. That alone would get you somewhere. Okay. And this really is a lesson that you can have fun with. I'm going to bleed the brown into that yellow. You can wait for it to dry and also like pick out little bits of straw or something. But the star of the picture is definitely our dinosaur. This lady is not happy about the dinosaur running through town.
I wouldn't be either.
You wouldn't? I can't understand why. I am going to go ahead and paint this tree and then put the bark in with black. But I'm going to wait for the tree to dry a little bit.
Do they have watercolor?
I have some that I put in people's bags. I don't know if they have them or not. So maybe you want to do this all with crayon. Let's do this building with crayon. I'm going to use yellow again. When you do the sky, make sure your lines go across like this. Any of the grass areas you want to make your crayon go up like this. So it reads, oh, that's too light. It doesn't read like anything. It reads like grass. And if you have more than one shade of green, doesn't matter. You can't. You're not painting a wall here. So, I'm going to add some red to my flames here. Okay. And I will post some pictures of these kinds of houses so you can see what they look like. Because I know there's somebody there thinking that there's no such house like that. I know there's not. And I'll show you pictures of houses like that. How are we doing for time now?
You have to wrap up in like a minute.
Okay, I can do that. So I'm using different shades of green here. And I want to take it so that it appears that our dragon is overlapping the grass. That gives your picture depth. Overlapping. Key word. And I could outline my dragon with blue. I think I might, just to make him stand out even more. Because I know you guys like that blue dragon. Oops, I didn't do his tail. I had to do his tail. And then there was one that had an arrow here at his tail. You can do that too. So we did 2 serious projects. Now we're doing a fun project. And if you don't think this one is fun, I would suggest you don't take any more art classes, because this is as silly as I get. I am a coach trying to get you scholarships. We're not here to play. We're here to create. So I'm going to put a walkway here, because this would also have a dirt walkway. Take this around. And if you're doing the dark walkway, make sure your crayon only goes one direction. Even if you're painting it, you want to paint it the way it would lay. And since this is a horizontal and we want it to lay down, your brush strokes would also do that. And then if you wanted to put a shadow under him, you would use a black or a blue to create a shadow. You don't always have to use black. Blue works just fine. You see how it lays down better if you do it across like that? I'm hiding my secret word now. You should have gotten that when you drew it. So if you want those bonus points, you better go back to the first video. Ooh, I think I'll make that blood. No, that's too purple. Let's go with red. No, that's not red enough. Well, that's the thing. When you get huge sets like that, the colors just, you have too many variations. Yeah, that's where it's okay. Not as red as I would like. This is an orange, but I might, yeah, that'll work. I'm gonna put a little blood over here too. He's torn some people up. Okay. And that is how you should approach this. If you don't have watercolors, then just use a crayon, and you can blend your tree together. Let me show you what a blue looks like. That's not dark enough. Let's find a dark blue. Where's a dark blue? So the dark blue can go right over and be the underside of your pine tree, which is also a Christmas tree. And then you can put some flames on it with yellow or orange or whatever you want. So I'm going to have my tree on fire here. And if you study fire, it has blue in the hottest part in the center if you want to be that picky. I'm not that picky for what we're doing. Okay, I'm not done with it. It will take you a little longer than this to finish this, but we're wrapping it up here, and you can take it from there.